You are already living the dream. Now, that might sound wrong, and you might be like, well, obviously I'm not. Because if you imagine your dream and you look around, you're like, well, in my dream, I would have a different, apartment to live in. I would be in a completely different place. I would have a different career. I would have a different car. I would have a different this. Everything would be different. But you're still living the dream. And it's because when you think about your dream, right now you're currently thinking about a destination. Simply a destination. On top of a hill, there's a destination. There's the peak of the hilltop, and you're thinking about that. Oh yes, I'll be there, I'll be the world champion or the businessman or whatever it is that is your dream. You're just thinking of the destination. But in reality, your dream is not just the destination. It's not the mountain top. It's the complete mountain. It's also the journey up. That is also a part of your dream. And so as long as you're doing the correct things, you're working hard towards your dreams, you're not being lazy, you stay disciplined, you're motivated, you're doing all the correct things, you are currently on your way to that destination, and that is a part of your dream. You are living the dream. So let's say your goal is to be world champion at something. You want to be world champion. You might be thinking of the mountaintop. Oh yes, I have to go all the way to the mountaintop. But as long as you're climbing up the mountain, you're constantly getting closer and closer to that point. You are already on the mountain of your dreams. You're just not at the top yet. You're just not at the destination. But you are in that mountain, climbing up that mountain, on that journey up there, and that is a part of it. And when you get to the top and you get the great view and you get everything that you ever wanted, that's great. It's amazing. But what you'll actually remember is the journey. It's more important than just the destination. Most people, they climb Mount Everest. And is the view at the top amazing? Sure, not gonna disagree. But if you climb all the way up to the Mount Everest, the top, very top, most people, when they talk about their climb to the on top of Mount Everest, they don't talk about, I was at the top of the mountain and the view was great. They talk about the journey. They talk about, we were at base camp and then this happened and then that happened. You see, the journey is even more important than the destination. Not to take anything away from the destination, but you have to realize that this journey that you are on currently is a part of your dream. And when you have this realization, you shift your mindset from, oh no, I'm not at my dream yet, and then you feel bad and unmotivated and you're like, I want to give up. Do you change it? And you're like, as long as I'm doing the correct things, and as long as I'm working hard and staying disciplined, I am currently on my journey to the top. You're making your way slowly to the top. Slowly but surely, and you're eventually gonna get there. And when you have that realization that you are already on that path, on that journey, it's a lot more motivating for the exact same situation. Literally nothing changed except your mind. What you thought changed, how you viewed the world changed, and all of a sudden it's a lot more motivating. It's not, oh no, I'm not at the destination, It's, hell yeah, I'm working towards it. And that motivates you, disciplines you. And that is amazing. That is what will keep you on that path to success, so that eventually you will actually get to that destination which you want to be at. And even though you might look around now and see that, I don't have any signs of success, I'm not seeing the results yet, then just remind yourself that every person in history who's achieved something great, they never saw the signs of success while they were on the journey. You see, Isaac Newton wasn't seen as the greatest scientist of all time, or at least one of the greatest scientists of all time, before he made his discoveries. And all the discoveries from gravity and all the mathematical, things and all the amazing things that he did, It took him decades on the journey to learn about mathematics and to science and, all these things, and it took decades of work. And he never knew that he was going to become one of the greatest, if not the greatest scientist of all time. He never knew that. There was no signs of, if you continue down this road, you'll become the greatest ever. There was no one telling him that. There was no one, there was no papers posted. There was no progress bar, like, video game where, you can look at the progress bar. Okay, I'm that close to the ending. I'm that close to 100% max. Right? There's no progress bar in real life. And so you have to just realize that, there is not going to be a progress bar that you see, but as long as you do the correct things, you're going to be like Isaac Newton. You're going to be on your way to becoming one of the greatest, as long as you trust in yourself that this is the correct path, the journey. You keep walking on that journey. You keep climbing up the mountain, And you can take an infinite amount of examples. I mean, did Napoleon know that he was gonna conquer basically all of mainland Europe? That he was gonna win wars against like 7 different coalitions? Of course he didn't know that. Of course he had doubts. Of course when, he got a message that, it's time, the 5th coalition is coming. It's like, again? Maybe he had a tiny bit that was like, oh shit. But he did it anyway. And he had no guarantee that, he was gonna be one of the greatest emperors and one of the greatest, conquerors in human history, one of the greatest generals, one of the greatest just people in all time, right? He had no guarantee of that, yet he did it anyway. And that is you. You are the person with the talents and the gifts and everything given to you. And as long as you realize that even though you're not at the destination yet, you are currently living your dream, because as long as you're doing the correct things to be on the journey, if you're doing nothing, then you're not living the dream, right? So there is that if you are doing the correct things. So you have to do the correct things. But you are that person. Right now you might not see anything like, I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing all the things. But neither did anyone else who ever became great. They never saw any signs of success except at the destination. But the destination is only the mountaintop. And the bigger the mountain, the bigger it is, or the climb. You can't look at a big mountain and say, wow, look, I'm not at the mountaintop yet. The bigger the mountain is, the longer it will take for you to climb it up. And the less of that mountain will be the mountaintop. The mountaintop will always be a small destination. And then the bigger the mountain, the longer it's going to take to go up. And also the bigger the climb, the bigger the everything. And so if you want to climb that huge mountain, you have to realize that the journey is going to take time, and the journey is a part of the mountain called your dream. And so keep climbing, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have an amazing day.